Today I got some of the parts 3D printed out that I want to show y'all. Here's a couple of them. So let's go ahead and get into it. Here's some of the parts I got 3D printed out. As you can see here, here's the base, or the stabilizer itself. Here's what it looks like. And if I pull this out, you can see this is going to be machined out of aluminum, and what's going to happen is there's just going to be a recess here, and there's going to be holes in the plastic. So what I'm going to do is just push this, it's going to be aluminum, push this aluminum in, and then wrap all this in carbon fiber so you'll never see this. But what this allows me to do is to thread it, and allows me to bite into the aluminum rather than into plastic and carbon, which I don't think was going to hold that good. So it's going to be aluminum, plastic, and then carbons all squeezed together, and then that's going to be mounted on the trunk itself. How I 3D printed this is I printed it in 4 different pieces. So if I slide this out real quick, if it'll let me. What I did was put peg on one side and then hole on the other, and just allowed me to push into each other. And then I also did the same thing on these two. So I just push them in. And what's going to happen is I'm going to glue all these together and then wrap them in carbon too. So you'll never see any of these lines. They'll just be all one piece together. Also, I got this piece, which is going to be CNC out of aluminum, which is going to be the nut. So it's going to put into these holes. I'm going to put them into these holes, and I'm going to thread them through so the aluminum will be threaded rather than plastic, which would tear out pretty easy. And then that is going to be bonded with the wing. And when I do it, these are all going to be wrapped in carbon too, so that's what's going to hold the aluminum to the plastic. So that's going to be a bonding, and that's a bigger surface area than just these 2 bolts, which should allow the force to be distributed evenly. So that's as far as I got right now. So what I'm going to need to go do in CAD is chop this off and move these back. So here's the wing on the car, and it fits rather well. The contour of the trunk fits the bottom of the wing really good, since they're both pretty flat. I was worried about this being too curved, but it matches up rather nicely. One of the problems is where the holes are going to be. The back of the wing hits the spoiler of the just the WRX. So what I'm going to have to do is chop this off or move it back, depending. And also one thing is, when I open the trunk and it comes up to here, the wing that goes across, let me pick it up real quick. So the wing mounts right here, like this. When I open the trunk, it's gonna hit the glass. So what I'm gonna have to do is move the holes back to allow some spacing so it doesn't hit when I open the trunk, because I still want it to be usable, the trunk to be usable, and not worried about hitting the glass all the time. So I'm gonna have to cut this bottom piece off, and then also move the mounting holes further back so the wing slides back a little bit inside the stabilizer. So let's go jump over to the CAD now, and I'll show you how I get it done. So here's the wing design so far. As you can see, what's changed is I cut the back end off right here. So it was sticking out further, and now I chopped it so that we can slide the wing back further and not interfere with the WRX wing or spoiler. Also, I've chamfered this a little bit more to allow some more clearance, and it wouldn't be as sharp as in printing, because I've started printing already and it was getting really wispy and the printer didn't like how sharp this edge was. So I changed that, and then also I moved, let me just go ahead and hide these holes, hide the bolts right there. As you can see, or really you can't see it, but I have moved these holes about 15 millimeters back, so that will give more clearance up here for the wing when it opens up for the trunk to have some clearance, so it wouldn't hit the glass as much. Let me open up some other files and I'll show you how, as on these, or on the assembly here, you can see how it's all one piece, but I sliced it up and this is how I'll print it. As you can see on the assembly, it's all one piece, so that represents how the carbon will be. These will be the nuts that I'm talking about that will be CNC'd out, and the rest will be plastic wrapped in carbon. And that's the design so far. It's looking pretty good. I'm happy with it so far. I will keep you updated on what's happening in the future with this project, and y'all have a good day. Thanks.